anyways, hey, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
I know you have like a big press junket tomorrow. I do know that.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing you tomorrow as well. That's okay though.
Hey, so anyways, hey, congratulations for season 10. I mean,
Yeah.
it's many years of funny stuff for Letterkenny.
Yeah. I think everyone on Letterkenny will say that it all starts with the writing, and Jared, Jacob, and all the other writers, friend of mine, Dan Roche, every year they just do such a great job of delivering really good scripts. So I think a lot of the credit, can't go without acknowledging just how good the writing is. And I think season 10 specifically, we had a bit of a hiatus for obvious reasons, and I think gave them more time to think this one through, and there was a little bit less pressure to okay, film, edit, release, get back to writing. So I think it really paid off for us for season 10 because it's a really funny season.
That explains why it was only 5 episodes, right? I mean, it's not it's not canceled. It's just a shortened season because there is a season 11.
Yes. Yeah. We actually have season 11 in the bank. So we filmed all 14, but we just kind of stick into the Letterkenny pattern of releasing 6 at a time, which is not the standard TV release, but Jared's always put quality over quantity, and I couldn't agree more. So if that means that the writing is going to be better and we have better TV, then so be it. That's the way to go. Yeah.
So what, in your opinion, what do you think is the secret of success for Letterkenny?
I think there's a couple. First of all, I think there's a lot of universals in the show. A lot of the cast, I've spent a lot of time in the U.S. A lot of the cast has spent a lot of time in the U.S. and other places. I think, everywhere they have farmers, or I think there's a lot of principles that a lot of the characters exude that are universal. So with the Hicks, they're kind of stubborn, principled, have a deep sense of morality. They like to fight. That's pretty universal traits. There's farmers in the U.S. and in Canada. The Skids, they're all about doing drugs and selling drugs and playing video games, and they've kind of tapped into that niche, and I think that's pretty universal. And then Riley and Jonesy, you can interchange. Obviously there's hockey culture has a peculiar lingo to it and personalities, but you could trade those in for lacrosse bros or football guys or baseball guys. So I think that's one of the things. There's a lot of universal archetypes in the show. I also think the show, everyone on the show we are friends, truly friends, in the sense that I love seeing everyone doing well. We all want to be our best. We all want to bring something to the table, and we kind of check our egos and judgment at the door when we step on set with Letterkenny, and we all genuinely love each other and want to make some fun TV. And so I think that really translates. And there's no bullies in Letterkenny. If there is a bully, usually get dealt with pretty quickly. Pretty anti-bullying and a pretty inclusive show. I think we do a great job of representing the Indigenous population and people from all walks of life on the show, whatever your sexual preference is, or even Riley and Jonesy, for all their cocky bravado and lack of intelligence, they're still pretty accepting at the end of the day of whatever's kind of thrown their way. As long as they can get a gym session in or an opportunity to meet some babes, they really don't care what your political preference or your sexual preferences are. So I think that's the secret to the Letterkenny. And then the wordplay and the clever, I always call it hillbilly Shakespeare, because the wordplay is just so good. And it has that rural slang that I don't think you see in a lot of TV. That's TV glamorizes a lot of walks of life, but I don't think rural TV gets a lot of. It doesn't get as much screen time as say urban settings and stuff like that. Well, lately actually I noticed TV is kind of changing in that regard, but I think those more or less are the secrets to Letterkenny success. Yeah.
Well, that's plenty of success secrets for Letterkenny. Now,
Yeah.
let me address one of the things that people may or may not know. You are very familiar with hockey, especially with your character.
Yeah, I mean, like a typical Canadian, I grew up playing hockey. I found out pretty quickly I wasn't going to make it to the NHL, and I'd say my relationship with hockey is not complicated, but I think people think that I'm really into hockey because I portray someone who's really into hockey. But I grew up playing hockey and I love playing it. I don't necessarily watch a ton of it. But I grew up and I understand the culture at the time. I know like anything, it changes so quickly, and I'd say I'm not as in the loop with hockey culture as I once was. But yeah, I grew up playing hockey, so I know, and I played competitive hockey. So even the way you hold, like Dylan and I have joked, like sometimes you can tell I'm not going to name names, but you could tell who's played hockey just by the way they hold their stick and who has it. Yeah, easily. Yeah, and just like the way you get dressed and the way you do warm up, like there's certain tells on who's played and who hasn't. So I have a deep understanding of that for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna say Dylan also plays a little bit of hockey.
Oh yeah.
You think you're a little bit better than him, or the other?
You know what's funny is Dylan and I are very similar actually in hockey. I mean, he comes from my family's not. I was the only one who really took hockey to a competitive level. Dylan's family is like, hockey royalty. His dad coaches in the NHL, and both his brothers are really good hockey players. But Dylan and I were very fast, but had no hands. So we were like the penalty kill and a small amount of ice time, but we definitely spend time on the bench. And so we always joke about that I think we're pretty equal. I got to say we're pretty equal, which is fitting because on the show we're, two heads of a dragon. We kind of just do everything the same. So, yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm better than Dylan. Hopefully he says the same about me.
Hopefully. So in how do you develop this chemistry for 10, 11 seasons with Dylan? I mean, you two work perfectly together.
Yeah, so it really came natural to us. So Dylan and I, our stars kind of aligned a long time before that. It's not my place to talk about the tragic circumstances, but Dylan and I met through a mutual friend when I was going to University of British Columbia before Letterkenny. He just quit hockey himself, moved to Vancouver because he knew he wanted to be an actor, and I was going to UBC, and we met through a mutual friend. And I don't know if you know, his dad first time I met him, his dad just had this blow up on TSN, and it was kind of making the rounds on sports highlights. And so I knew who his dad was, and I met him. He's like, "You want to see my dad blow up?" And I said, "Oh, that's your dad? That's crazy." And so we ended up becoming roommates. And then we ended up we were on-screen brothers for a movie called Mr. Hockey, a bioepic about Gordie Howe. So I played Marty and he played Marty, I played Mark. Wow. And we were on a beer league at the same time with Jared, Nate, sometimes Tyler. And so we just finished playing brothers on screen. And we both grew up playing with a bunch of Riley and Jonesies. And so when we did the Letterkenny YouTube thing, it was just pure instinct. Like we just know each other well enough. We almost have like a brother-like relationship. So I'd love to say we rehearse the lines a lot because there's a lot of like rapid fire, but the chemistry has always just kind of come pretty natural with our instincts. And we haven't had to work too hard on our chemistry, but definitely have to learn our lines, and it takes us a while to do that. So, but yeah, that's kind of been fortunate that way. Yeah.
Now, obviously, due to circumstances, there is no hockey in season 10. Was this a refresher that it's different? Kind of like take a break from that sport for you?
Yeah, I think in this season, I really like the idea that we're trying to become, VidVoc famous. It's pretty relatable to the times right now. And at the end of the day, Riley and Jones are I always thought they do love hockey, but they love the opportunity to meet the opportunity for new relationships with women to arise. So VidVox kind of our new way of reseeking our glory, because we always kind of joke that in season 1 we were like king shits playing junior hockey, and it's kind of been a free fall ever since. And we always joke we've had a concussion in between each season because we somehow seem to get less and less intelligent as the seasons go on. So I thought it was a really fun opportunity for Dylan and I to try something new and ridiculous and flex our butts, spoiler alert, and just be absolute ridiculous idiots trying to reclaim previous glory. So yeah, it was a ton of fun this season. Yeah, it was refreshing for sure.
I was gonna say, how comfortable were you doing semi-nude scenes for the series?
Luckily, so Jared messaged Dylan and I probably a month and a half ahead of time saying, "Hey guys, this is what you guys are going to be doing." So it wasn't like it was we had time to prepare, and I actually could not flex my butt cheeks. Like I actually had to do butt flexes every day from the moment he told me to filming, just so I could get my right cheek working, but my left cheek, I don't know if it was just like it just wasn't working. I just couldn't individually flex my left cheek or at all. So yeah, I pretty much just do butt flexes for a month just to get ready for it. And then at that point, you're like, all right, I've done all this work, so let's get to it, you know? So it was one day it was really cold. And so we were just glad it wasn't the other way around, you know? It wasn't no frontal nudity, just the back.
So much preparation for butt flexes. Do you
have
to like hit the gym too to work on?
Yeah, hit the gym and butt flexes, and who knew my life would take me to where I get paid to flex my butt.
Well, just like Riley and Jonesy, I guess thousands or millions of women get to see your buttocks at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be worse.
Letterkenny, the series is very well known for like what you've been mentioning, the wordplay, the zings,
yes,
and all that kind of stuff. How long does it take for you to get used to, like, practice those zings to get that delivery right? Because from my understanding, there's no improv really.
No, I'd say it's 95% written, and then if people, Jared and Jacob always had an open door policy. So if you have an idea, you're always welcome to throw it out there, and if they like it, then you can use it. So there's definitely some room for some improv, but most of it's written and written well. So Dylan and I usually will obviously have read the scripts beforehand, and then we spend hours just reading them back and forth until we get it down. And we've been doing it for a long time, so I'd like to say it's become a lot easier over the years. But there's also, sometimes we start a scene where I say buddy and he says bro, and then we go, and then it flips. I'm saying bro and he's saying buddy. So there's some confusion there where we say a lot of the similar words but slightly different, which is always fun on set when we accidentally take each other's lines unknowingly. That happens quite a bit. But yeah, just a lot of rehearsal the night before, just trying to get, because as you see, like so much of the show is rhythm, and if you don't have them down, you just end up looking like an idiot, or egg on the face, as they say. So no, we like to come prepared, because everyone comes super prepared, and everyone's really funny. So if you don't do those things and you show up on set, it's going to be a tough day for you.
Well, after 10, 11 seasons, you're used to all of this, so that's for sure.
Yeah, and there's certainly, I mean, I can't speak to rural parts of the U.S., but I mean, I grew up in a pretty small town, and Jared grew up in a small town, and so a lot of us have grown up in small towns where each town has their own particular way of saying things, and little idiosyncrasies and little lingo that exists within these towns. So I think we just naturally knew what it was like. And certainly Jared, because I mean, I think I don't know if you know how it kind of started, but it started off as he had a Twitter account called Things They Say in Listowel or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was called, but they started off tweeting things that people would say in Listowel, and then it kind of grew from there. So yeah, we have a lot of practice.
Yeah. Never realized it was so relatable to you, Andrew.
Yeah. More than I like to admit.
So for yourself, does comedy come natural for you, or you have to work at it sometimes?
I actually wouldn't consider myself an everyday a funny guy. I think I have a natural instinct for physical comedy, which a lot of Riley and Jonesy, there's a lot of physical comedy, butt flexing, for instance. But no, I think, I guess for whatever reason, I do have a bit of a natural comedic rhythm, certainly with Letterkenny. But no, I actually wouldn't consider myself like a funny person in everyday life. I mean, I have my moments, but to be intentionally funny, no, I don't think that's how I would identify myself. But for whatever, that's just how life works out sometimes. I remember I started in high school theater, and I had these dreams of being like, a Laurence Olivier on the stage performing Shakespeare, and which, I mean, I still, one day I think I do want to return to the stage when the time's right. But yeah, life just kind of I just naturally gravitated towards that, and it just worked out that way. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Letterkenny could still be another 10 more seasons for all you know.
Exactly. Who knows? I mean, the one comment we get a lot from fans is not enough episodes. So that's a good problem. A good problem to have is when they're saying not enough. So, yeah, I'm pretty good about keeping my expectations balanced. But we have a good crew and a good thing going. So I'll keep doing it until they say otherwise. So yeah, who knows?
Now I know the pandemic is pretty tough on many actors, but do you try to line up other projects besides Letterkenny down the season?
Yeah, I consider myself really fortunate that way that Letterkenny's been a rock in my career, and so Dan Hirosh is a writer on Letterkenny, and he did like the Mitzvah episode and a couple of those other episodes, and another one of my dreams is writing. I wouldn't dream to write comedy, but between Dan, my friend Dan, Adam Feingold, and myself are all writing partners right now. So throughout the pandemic, we've been writing scripts. We got a horror film lined up right now that we're trying to get optioned, and so that's between Letterkenny. I just try to get better as an actor. And when the opportunities for interest that I like arise, I go for. But writing has been kind of the secondary. The pandemic has provided a lot of time to write, and so I've just been taking advantage of that. And so, hopefully, in 2022, we feel pretty good about this movie. So I think, knock on wood here, we hopefully can get this thing filmed in the coming year. So that's kind of what I've been doing right now.
We're all hoping for that light at the end of the tunnel, that's for sure.
Yeah, we are. It's just I don't know about you, but it's crazy how quickly things changed. Yeah, I remember when I had a period of time where I was looking at live leaks perhaps too much, and I remember seeing some videos coming out of China. I was like, oh no, like what? This isn't like this looks like I saw some pretty like disturbing hospital videos, and kind of scared myself. And I just hope everyone's, healthy. And I think the COVID has really put in perspective that above all else, health matters the most, right? So if you don't have that, then you're kind of screwed. So I think I just hope that everyone's safe, and whatever we're battling out there, you get through, and hopefully, in the next year we start to see some changes that lead to a little bit more of a normal life.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, I get to talk to you via whatever this is, and
absolutely.
rather than flying to you and to Canada or wherever.
Wherever. Yeah, definitely convenience has gone up with Zoom. I'm glad. I'm actually proud of myself right now. Normally on Zoom, there's a lag. I end up cutting someone off, or I get. It's been pretty good right now. So I'm like, maybe I just jinxed it. I'll knock on wood again. But no, it's the convenience has definitely gone up. Yeah.
Well, I've taken a lot of your time already, Andrew. So let me leave with one more thought, because Riley and Jonesy, they are great characters, and you interact with a lot of interesting people on the show. Who's the most funnest besides Dylan? Who's the most fun character or person that you love interacting out of all these seasons?
Oh, that's a tough question. I gotta say, first and foremost, everyone is on a baseline very fun to work with. We have a lot of really, really talented crew and cast on this show, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So shout out to the crew, especially. They're kind of the unsung heroes. Like they're behind the scenes and you never get to see them, but they are awesome. I've always found it particularly difficult to not laugh when Tyler Johnson, Stewart, is in a scene with Dylan and I, and Glenn, Jacob Tierney, also, and Lisa as well as Gail. Those three, I think those three for me are all tied. It's very, very difficult not to laugh and ruin a take when those three are in a scene with Dylan and I. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and Lisa couldn't be further from her character. Like, this is Lisa, and then Gail's way over here. Like, they are so different. Like, she does an amazing, amazing job. So, yeah, I'll leave it at those three. But everyone's good. Like, everyone's good. Yeah.
That's obviously a great answer. And I do have to admit, season 10 is very funny. So, hey, Andrew, thank you very much for speaking to me about Letterkenny and everything else, especially you personally. And
of course, thank you.
Enjoy your long day on the press junket tomorrow.
Thank you. And thanks for having me, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Next time.
Bye.